Good evening, everyone, or good morning, depending wherever the hell you are, and welcome to our review and discussion of Mandalorian Chapter 5. I forgot what it was called. I don't really care.
Gunslinger.
Oh, thank you. Gunslinger. All right. Joining us today, we have Zam and Ray and Bobalorian. And I am your host, Jabba the Slut. Because, why not? Anyway, Jason, why don't you start us off today? What did you think of the episode overall? And then we can pick off pieces as we go along.
I like how the show picked up with like kind of like a chase fight scene in space, and it looked really good. I mean, I liked that whole part of it. The Tatooine of it all, I like how they didn't throw all the nostalgia in our face. However, I don't know. Going back to Mos Eisley and everything, it just seemed really convenient that he was right there. And I don't know. I'm mixed about it, but I don't like have a reason for I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I'm mixed about it, and I don't have a reason for being mixed about it. I just can't explain it. But it's just I don't know.
Nope. He's frozen.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I robot code. The story was good. The way everything was kind of presented was good. I kind of but I knew that, the young guy was eventually going to turn on the Mandalorian, so that was pretty predictable. Although, I mean, what hasn't been at this point. And I liked it. I wish I would have got more Ming Yang Wei. I can never get her name right. Agent May. I'll just call her Agent May. What?
We might still.
Well,
you never know.
Yeah, I know. I kind of went back and looking, and I mean the end part. I don't know if you want to get into what the twist.
No, let's just
the end yet.
We can get to that later.
Let's just talk about
Okay.
Yeah, let's just talk about the beginning first.
But the episode in general was on par with everything else I've seen. Now this, you guys were sitting there saying, "Oh, this episode." Last week you guys were saying, "Oh, this episode felt so short," and yada yada yada. I actually felt this episode felt shorter than the last episode. So I felt like this episode needed more time.
Yeah.
So last week I thought the episode was perfect in length. This week I felt like the episode needed more time. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's my overall whatever.
I loved how it began. I mean, I was asking you guys, I want some space, and we got some. A nice little dogfight in space. My man using fucking Mandalorian's line. That's it. You're instantly dead, motherfucker. You are dead. You don't use his fucking words. And then him going to Mos Eisley, I loved it because this is after Empire Return of the Jedi. This is giving us an idea of what Mos Eisley is. It's a lot more peaceful. Mos Eisley is, droids are now running the fucking cantina. Whoever thought that would happen? And I like the beginning of it. I'm just gonna mention one particular thing. There's three main characters in this. There's the assassin, the rookie, and the mechanic. You could even throw in the pilot at the beginning, yeah? All four of those characters, human.
Yep.
You surely they could have made all four of them, if not three of them, not two of them, even not one of those fucking cunts, a goddamn alien of some sort. And they didn't. But anyway, let's continue. James, what would you like to say?
Ray, about Ray.
Ray, sorry, my bad. I forgot you. Forget he's with us sometimes.
Going back to Mandalorian's point about the pacing of the episode, I really enjoyed the editing style where it kind of felt like you were in the moment in places, and in the dogfight, and it kind of brought it a little bit more alive for me. Than a lot of Star Wars episodes in the past, or in more frequent dogfights, it's too quick. This one was just kind of right, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Yeah.
We also just want to quickly add. We also got the name of the planet where the guild is on. It's called Navarro or something like that, isn't it? Navarro.
Yeah, that's where he starts off.
They mentioned the name. Yes,
That's
they
where
mentioned
it
the
was.
name very briefly.
Navarro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like this episode, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think, you know, the first season is 8 episodes, and we've had 2 filler episodes. And it's just taken like a dip, and it's becoming like the Baby Yoda rather than the Mandalorian for me. I enjoyed the start of it, the little dogfight in space, though. My biggest pet peeve with all the ships in Star Wars, doesn't anyone have a rear fucking gun on their ships? Space is 3-dimensional, you know. You gotta have your fucking guns everywhere.
Well, they got the guys on the turrets, you know,
right,
they did.
Right, they only have forward thrusters. You can't just have forward thrusters. Your thrusters need to be 360 if you're gonna dogfight. But it's still a good fight. You know, it was nice to see. Lovely, more of that. Thank you very much. But yeah, once he enters into Tatooine, which I was like, at first I was happy. I was like, "Ooh, Tatooine, okay, just gonna chuck that in there for the sake of it." But yeah, why not? Yeah, there's so many planets to explore. But then he gets down there, and like you said, it's humans. The bounty hunter he meets, human. The woman who fixes the ship, human. Ming-Na Wen, human. It's like Star Trek, Babylon 5. All these fucking shows do more of a better job of having aliens as like focal points than this show has. And it's starting to grate on me that it's dipped in like creativity. The dialogue is starting to bug me as well. It's so fucking simplistic. I enjoyed the speeder bike moment. I thought that was pretty cool. But the actor that played the other bounty hunter, oh my God. His dad is Bobby Cannavaro, a phenomenal actor. All right. One of the most underrated actors of this generation. And that's his son. And his son was atrocious. And that's just like, you could tell that role was nepotism.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing Ming-Na Wen. I'm not going to, you know, it'll be interesting to see her down the line as we get into discussion later. But, you know, the mechanic lady, you know, nothing against her. It was a good role. It was fun, but it should have been like an alien. It would have been more fun, as that they could have, you know, spent a bit more of the budget on there. Well, I also Mos Eisley, I kind of like that it's a bit dead. Like it's desolate now. There's not much because, like, the Empire is gone. There's no real reason to kind of stick around there.
And the huts are dead as well. Well, the huts kind of control that space.
The huts are gone. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode overall.
I want to say, James, that I mean, personally, like regarding like the pacing of it and the fillers, I mean, I like the fact that we're just seeing Star Wars universe. You know, it doesn't have to be story related because most of the show is focused on the Mandalorian. I mean, the only time we really got to see other characters interact was at the beginning of episode 4, when you see those people raid that planet, those orcs, that is. And also in this episode where the rookie and the assassin are having a conversation before he kills her. And
yeah, but the problem is, this would be fine if he's going planet to planet, you know, bounty hunting. But you know, he's got this little baby yodeling, and he's got a bunch of people chasing him, and they're sitting there. Okay, there was some relevance to the episode in terms of like the guild and all this kind of stuff, but you know, there should have been just more meat towards it, more build towards what's coming. Like maybe the focus could have been on other characters, trying to focus in on where he is, or get to learn a bit more about the baby Yoda. We've got 3 episodes left. And because the episodes are short, it's different if they're an hour long. If they're longer episodes, then of course you could do your filler. You know, even in an 8-episode series, you could do your filler. But, you know, I harken back to, like, say, The Boys, for example. That had, I think, that was 8 episodes long. No episode felt like filler. Everything felt relevant. Whereas this one, we've had the last 2 episodes just feel like, you know, I don't feel nothing towards what's going on. I don't care what's going on. You know, I'm just
episode 2 was filler as well. But
sorry, go on.
No, episode 2 was filler as well. Let's not forget that. But I don't mind too much. I'm just happy just to be in the Star Wars universe where I appreciate what they're showing me. Yeah, we're in Mos Eisley now. Doing shit. I know, I know people are chasing him and stuff like that, but it doesn't always have to be focused on that. He's getting away. He's one step ahead. And people are still chasing him. I mean, like for instance, when the assassin, did you notice that she was always shooting at the Mandalorian? She was trying to kill him because she knew that was the geezer everyone's after at the moment. Every shot was at him. She shot his bike. She was always shooting at him. When he was at the fucking monster and stuff, she wanted him dead. So there was the assassin. She was when she was sniping, she was always going after him.
No. What I mean is, you should have taken him out first because you can handle the rookie up close. Exactly. But not so much the man.
I didn't like the fact that the rookie was immediately there. Like he had to climb up those fucking rocks and shit, but he was there within a second. That bugged me a lot. And the Mandalorian was there within a few seconds as well afterwards. To save his ass. But there's always a minor gripe far as I'm concerned. I know eventually things are gonna flesh out. I'm enjoying this ride of nostalgia regarding what I like about Star Wars, which they're giving us again, and I can't wait for the next episode. It wasn't the best episode, it wasn't the worst. It's just it's not as good as the earlier stuff, but it's okay. I'm fine with it. Not everything's got to be.
That's the problem, though. That's what I mean. Like you should have some standards for like a series. Like when you consider how the level of quality that's out there with other shows, and then you have this that's just like, it's not blown me away personally. I just think, we're in the golden age of TV, and here we have a company that's still kind of pissing about, not daring to be bold. Mandalorian has relegated itself to a man with a heart with a baby. It's like, just let's get rid of the Baby Yoda. It's cute as fuck, but get rid of it. And let's just have him just ruthlessly going after the guild in the next series. Just be a fucking man. What is it with Disney and just not letting people just be ruthless wankers?
If they weren't ruthless wankers, they would have done a Boba Fett movie. That's why they got this guy, because they molded him and he's their Boba Fett. Bobby, what you got anything to say?
You're muted.
What's your mic?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is kind of exactly what I expect. Once I saw Baby Yoda, this is kind of exactly what I expected. I don't hate it. I'm kind of liking, the more I listen to you guys talk about it, the more and I haven't had a chance to watch the episode 2 times yet. I've only watched it once. Normally when I watch it a second time is kind of like when I get to absorb a lot of the background stuff rather than what's just going on in the moment.
Yeah.
So, but listening to you guys talk about it, I'm kind of on board with the whole Tatooine thing. Especially when you were saying, oh, Mos Eisley is now dead because the Empire is gone right now. And, there's not much going on there anymore, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I do agree with you. I do agree with, because here's the thing about the human race, the human looking races, though, is that, there were a couple of, and I agree that the bounty hunter probably could have been like an alien. It probably should have been. But Tatooine was always, even in the movies, Tatooine was always inhabited by human-looking people. So if you think about it, if a lot of the trade and commerce has left that planet because the Empire's gone, then there won't be nothing except natives there. So they all kind of look human-looking. I'm not saying that's what they intended, but that's kind of my mindset on that whole most of them look human thing. I would like it, and now I agree with you, I would like it if he went to a planet where there were like no humans, Tatooine always seemed like a human looking native planet, but it's like, like the last episode, that race, that whatever was on that planet, with the Mulan theme, it's like, that's how I read it.
Yeah, exactly. That why did they need to be human?
Yeah. And I agree. As I said, and since that first planet wasn't since that first planet wasn't the desert planet wasn't Tatooine, why weren't they alien looking? You know what I mean? Like it I agree with you on that. Like I honestly and truly thought that first planet was Tatooine. They just didn't say it because they didn't want to lock themselves down into that. It was just another part of Tatooine.
Yeah, so, but it turns out it wasn't.
Yeah, it turns out it wasn't because obviously we're there.
The desert planet Star Wars.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not.
No, to be fair,
I just want to counter you, Roberto, because you know that cantina in the past has been full of fucking aliens, mate, of all types.
There were aliens in the cantina. There were tons of aliens in the cantina.
Tons of them, but so and you know, and then you saw when you see like the re-edited version of episode 4, and when you see episode 1 as well, there's lots of aliens, mate. You know, all digitalized, of course, but you know, nevertheless, there's loads of them, as well as the puppet ones from '77. And just the fact that, you know, that they couldn't have had a Twi'lek or something like that, some sort of humanoid-looking alien at least.
No, there were a couple aliens in there, but it was like dead in there. Like it's
the 3 or 4 main humans.
We're talking about the ones that
they could have been aliens.
And I agree. I think the bounty hunter could have been an alien. I mean, I really think the bounty hunter should have been an alien. Like he should have had something going on that wasn't human looking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my pet peeve. I mean, you know, to your point, saying that Tatooine was mostly human. All right, back in the 70s, it was budgets, but
I know
in 1999, it wasn't. You know, but even when they went back at Jabba's palace, it was mostly aliens in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. No,
Tatooine is not like a humanoid place. In reality, maybe only in the first book. Right?
That man.
So
is that right?
They blew their budget on the space scene and coming into Mos Eisley, and that's where they spent their money. So they didn't have any money to go and say, right, we'll put these digitized aliens in there.
They could have make up though. They could have make up the humans.
Yeah, I want to say they have techniques nowadays that just make it so easy to. I mean, look at Star Trek. Their budget was little to none, and they still made it work.
Exactly. Yeah. Babylon 5 had a smaller budget, and they had all aliens in there. It's just, it's this. Look, I know it sounds shitty because the main protagonists in this were all kind of white and that, but it's this because they feel this need to kind of meet diversity quotas. I feel it's getting in the way. Now, when you have the budget, back then, fine, you know, you didn't have the budget, you can have more humanoid people. But even like Return of the Jedi was like a bunch of fucking Ewoks on there, beating the shit out of stormtroopers. Like, you know, little things like that. We already had the Jawas, which was great. But again, you know, the last 2 episodes we've dealt with mainly humans, and it's just a gripe. It's just a gripe for me. It's such a vast universe. Yeah, you know. What else? Well, we saw the Sand People as well, and
the Tusken Raiders
communicate with sound language.
I like how they handled that though. Like I thought it was gonna boil down into a fight, and I kind of like how he was negotiating with them.
Yeah, me too. That was a good moment. That was definitely.
What I liked about it as well is that, you know, it didn't make them an issue that, like, for him to worry about for the rest of the episode. Like they dealt with, okay, no need to be concerned about Tusken Raiders now. They can just focus on this, and I liked it for that as well.
Same.
It was very clever dealing with it.
You paid the toll, you move on, kind of thing. You know, here's some binoculars, off we go.
By the way, those robots that the mechanic had, they're from episode 1, and I love the way that certain things from the prequel almost feel original trilogy like the fucking super battle droids in the memories of the Mandalorian, as well as now these little droids. And I believe those droids were created by Anakin Skywalker. Those are his droids. That's what.
I don't think those ones were, no, because they run around in like all the pod racing thingies as well.
Oh, fair enough. Oh yeah, actually there were more than okay. I thought he
created the 3PO. Lazy plot that was, but we'll.
I can't stand that, man. That was one of the stupidest. That's for another day.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy seeing them again. You know, like those are nice moments. You know, and people complain about fan service. I have no idea what the issue is if it's done right, and it's done so right in the Mandalorian most of the time. And
as long as you're beating your head over with it.
Oh, sorry, go on, Jason.
Oh, I just said as long as I'm okay with fan service, as long as they're not beating you over the head with it and it's earned. Like you know, like little like we don't need like a wink like. Oh, well, there was they don't need to sit there and say, oh, well, there was a boy who was a pod racing champion back in the day, and he helped, I bought these robots off of Guido or whatever his name was, who had a pod racing champion for many years. Like that would have been a bit much, but just seeing him was good enough for me.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Guido, by the way? Is he still alive?
I don't know, but I'm glad we didn't see him in this episode. Because as I said, that's another thing. They would have been beating over our heads with the prequels. No, the droids.
Hey, if he was, personally, I would have loved it if he owned the garage. Oh, I would have been high-fiving Ray right there, man. If I saw that shit, I wouldn't mind. If it's like I said, if it's done right, if it is done right, because talking about people from the past, if I've been watching, I had no idea about this, but. If you've been watching some of the reviews for The Mandalorian, a lot of people are saying that in the post-credit scene, after What's-Her-Face, when the guy who walks up to What's-Her-Face is Boba Fett.
Spoiler!
I reckon it's The Mandalorian.
Well, going back to the body?
Yeah.
No, but he left on the ship, dude.
Yeah, but you can land the ship right there where she's dead.
Yeah, we didn't see him go into space and hyperspace off.
That's a good point.
They didn't have to edit it in sequence.
Yeah, they did.
Does he have?
So I reckon it's a Mandalorian, and I don't know why, but I reckon it's the Mandalorian.
Maybe he's a necrophiliac.
Maybe, yeah.
He's like, this one's pretty hot, and she can't see my face either.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think? What do you think? Who do you think it is?
Who?
Roberto. The guy walking Agent May's body.
I thought it was also the Mandalorian when we first, but everybody's saying, "Oh, it's Boba Fett." I hope to God it's not Boba Fett. Everyone's like, "Oh, Boba Fett versus the Mandalorian." Well, the only reason I would ever want to see that is so the Mandalorian can kill Boba Fett once and for all. Just be done with that.
Yeah. And if they did that, all the fans would just be like, "Oh,
yeah, that's all of it. In their mom's basement."
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Look. Like the Boba Fett thing has gone. Like, is he dead? Isn't he dead? It's been going on for a while now. Yeah. In Legends, it was confirmed that he wasn't dead, but in canon, it hasn't really been confirmed yet. If he isn't dead, then they can bring him back alive. Mandalorian finally fucking kills him, and it makes it obvious that he's dead. Yeah, no bullshit. And then they can bury Boba Fett and not have to fucking deal with him anymore.
No, they would never do that. They would never kill Boba Fett off. Like, I mean, I understand why people say that because, obviously the Sarlacc pit was on Tatooine, and maybe for the past 5 years he's been hiding out on Tatooine, and maybe he's in need of new armor, so maybe he's going to go kill the Mandalorian, collect the bounty, and get new armor. Like, that's a lot of the stuff I've been hearing, but I don't want a Boba Fett versus the Mando fight. Like, I don't want it. I want something more creative than a typical end of like Black Panther, Iron Man end fight scene where it's like basically them facing off against their evil counterpart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, you make some good points, but I'm still on board with it. By the way, you make some excellent points, but I'm still on board with it. If it is Boba Fett,
I mean, a lot of people would. I think me and Jason will probably be in the minority in this. Ray, I don't know how you feel.
I don't think Disney are going to bring Boba Fett into it in the first season if they are going to bring him in at all. I think this is all about the Mando story, and if anything, they could drop him at the very end of Episode 8. as a kind of a character for the next season.
Yeah, you know what?
You're in.
That could actually, that's an excellent idea. I never thought for myself. He could be a teaser for next season.
Possibly, but again, I personally don't want it. I want the mystery of Boba Fett just out there. That's me personally, but again, what you guys say, I think everyone would lose their shit, and I wouldn't blame them. You know what I mean? I'd probably be like, oh, what is happening? But at the same time, I'll be like, I don't want it to, but it's happening anyway, so I'm gonna watch it. You know,
yeah, might as well enjoy it.
Admit my hypocrisy.
So, do you guys know what's going to be happening on the next episode? Because my money is on Bill Burr finally coming in on the scene. I believe.
I reckon it'll just be like a bunch more bounty hunter stuff. I'm still waiting to see what happens with the Death Troopers. You know, that's where my hype is. I'm glad they're doing that.
I think that's going to be the last 2 episodes. It's going to be like the remnants of the like the actual like full force of the remnants of the Empire is going to be coming after the Mandalorian because they finally get word and gather their forces about about Baby Yoda, and they, you know, I mean, it's just like any bureaucracy. It's like, hey, you know, like, oh, we have to gather our forces and we have to go off this, you know, we have to search for this Mandalorian. I think the last 2 episodes are going to be about the Empire now coming down. Wait, the remnants of the Empire coming down on the Mandalorian. So,
no,
and I feel like
the old Empire.
Yeah, the remnants of the Empire, the ones that didn't go into the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
And I feel how this season's going to end is I think that the Mandalorian is going to not find like Yoda's homeworld, but is somehow going to wind up meeting up with a couple of Yoda's race, like on a small ship or something, and they're going to show up and they're going to be like, "Our baby, you must give," you know.
I hope so. I fucking hope so. I hope we just, you know, Baby Yoda's adorable, but I don't want it being the center focus. Because people are going to be expecting that now more than the Mandalorian. You know, the casual fuckers who jumped onto the show because of the memes are now going to be like expecting Baby Yoda all the time, and then no very deep shit.
Yeah, well, and if he's the center focus of the season, I don't mind. But you're right. Like, I want at the end of this season, I want him to have a closure, and then the Mando can kind of go, and we can get him in season 2, and. So
exactly. Yeah,
exactly. Before, I think we're coming to the end here. But I want to add one more thing. Like, how this show is made. Do you like it that it is predominantly focused on him, and all the other supporting cast, other characters, you know, friends and foes, we only know about them with the interactions they have with Mandalorian? Do you like that, or would you like there to be more focus on other characters? Which obviously that would, without a doubt, then flesh out the show. Surely,
it depends. It depends on the content. Like, for example, like right now, given there's guilds after him, they could have afforded to pull focus away and move it onto the guild to kind of build more suspense of they're gearing up for like another big assault, or to see what the other Mandalorians have done since that attack on Navarro. We could have had that. But as a whole, with it being main focus on just one guy, yeah, it's fine. It's worked. Like, it's an old trope that's worked really well in the past. There's no reason why it shouldn't work now. You know, even Incredible Hulk was like that. And the littlest Hobo, let's not forget about that.
Yeah, littlest Hobo. I was thinking, but I like the way he's jumping from place to place. Like, all these people who are hyped about being in the show, they're not like, he's not part of a gang. Even though he's got Baby Yoda, he deals with people, but he's still his own person. You know, he's not really getting attached with anyone. Like, there's so many people so far who have gone from him in 5 episodes, and I do like that. You know, that's quite original in day and age.
Exactly. I thought we'd end up with like, starts off with IG-11, then we get the woman, and it's like slowly building up this game. But it's not. It's just like moving on per episode. You know, there's a place you really want to be, whatever. You know.
Well, I feel like we're still going to get our end game.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, we will. Yeah, they're all coming.
Yeah, I feel like we're still in the last 2 episodes. I feel like we're going to get our endgame moment where they all come back together, which I kind of don't want. I mean, it just to me it won't make sense.
I think Nick Nolte's going to jump in there as well.
I think we're going to get all of, except for maybe IG-11 because he obviously shot him through the head, or maybe Nick Nolte's character went and repaired IG-11, and now Nick Nolte's going to show up with IG-11, and then the lady's going to show up, and then, I mean, and then
oh, that would be easy as fuck.
That's what I'm saying, though. I feel like they're building up, like, I feel like they might do like an endgame moment where like everybody comes together and surrounds the Mando, and then they take on the remnants of the Empire.
I mean, we definitely know that the female character is coming back. For sure, because in the trailers that I've seen and all of that, there is just one bit where she's there with the stormtroopers, like fighting. So we know that that's gonna happen.
But see, she would make sense. Like she would like if it's only her, that would kind of make sense. Only because like she's she was the one who hunted down the remnant, like a lot of the Empire when the rebellion. Kind of took over. So I mean, that her coming back would make sense. But like Nick Nolte, IG-11, I don't know, the lady from the fish planet, like or whatever it was called, the forest planet, like none of those would make sense.
Yeah, then coming back.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would like if he like kind of went back to Nick Nolte and said, "Hey, I need my ship repaired or whatever," and then maybe But that would make sense. But it's just like, them just all showing up at the end and just being like, rally the Mandalorian. That's where I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when he's got other Mandalorians in the wings.
Yeah.
Waiting. So, yeah. Okay. If anyone has anything else to say before we finish.
How about turn her character into a clone?
Her character into a clone?
Because we've already seen the scientist earlier on from the old cloning laboratories. She's been shot. Technically, she could be dead. So rather than bring her back to life, she could be like a replaceable clone.
Who are you talking about?
You mean Ming Wa's character?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
I mean, with clones, you can never count anybody out. I mean, we can't even count Palpatine out right now because of
clones. Exactly.
Man, I love to. I can't wait to explain that shit. But yeah, like I said, once again, regarding Rise of Skywalker, I want to watch it. You better explain it, but you got a lot of fucking explaining to do, and then I'm done. I'm done with Skywalkers after that. Wait for it to be over.
Exactly. Cool. All right, guys, that's it. We're done. Keep it short and sweet. Thank you all for joining us, whoever did, all two of you, and we'll see you next week, hopefully with a much better episode. And the week after that is a double episode week. So there's one on Tuesday and one on Friday, episode 7 and 8 coming up the same week.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right. See you cocksuckers later.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.